Hey guys, Amit Barabi is here, and today I'm not going to talk about My Alien Academia for a change. I actually going to talk about another story. It's called 10 out of 10 Shield Hero. It's a story where Ben Tennyson becomes the Shield Hero moments after he found the Omnitrix. I personally don't think it's a good point on the timeline to make this change, because it means that Ben has no establishment as a hero, and he has no idea how to even operate the Omnitrix. And I don't mean like having master control or something like that. He doesn't even know how to activate it at the time. And not only that, but the story also has it that Ben can't use the offensive abilities of his aliens for some reason. I know it's something that the shield does, that it prevents you from using any means of attack, but this is a shape-shifting level 20 technology. So I have a reason to believe that whenever Ben is in alien form, he should be able to attack. I mean, come on. Heat Blast has the power of a micro sun, and Diamond Head can cut pretty much any Earthling material. So I think it makes no sense to do that. The stats that Ben had as Heat Blast, when he looked at his stats, was pretty much what I would have expected from a shield that comes from absorbing parts of Heat Blast, rocky body, but not from Heat Blast himself. And I think it's just a waste. At least Princess Peach didn't try to accuse Ben of rape because he's 10. It wouldn't work. But I at least expected her to do something like, I don't know, bringing him to a dungeon where the monsters would attack him, and then she would run away, and she claimed that it was his idea and she just barely managed to run away. And then when Ben comes and explains his side, the king wouldn't believe him, because even though the king can can feel some pity for him and probably show some care because he's a little kid, I still think he would believe his daughter over that. But that didn't happen. So now that I've complained about this story, let me give you an alternative of what I think would have happened. For starters, Ben can't just be summoned or zapped into the world as he worded it. For being summoned, you need to either read a book or die. So let's go with the second option. Let's say that in the 13th episode of the series, in the very end of season 1, Ben doesn't manage to escape Vilgax's ship when it explodes, and he dies in the explosion. And that death sends him into Raphtalia's world as the Shield Hero, and then he already has experience with his first 10 aliens. You see, that way Ben already has some established experience as a hero, but he still has the struggles coming from his lack of life experience. In addition to that, I would have made it so Ben can attack his aliens, minus gray matter, but they can't attack in his human form. And that would be a fair limitation. I mean, come on. Ben can switch back to his human form willingly. He can switch from one alien to another, and he has a 10 minutes time limit. So Ben is still going to need the shield. It's not like an idea about let's say 25 years old Ben Tennyson with Master Control or something. This is 10 years old Ben who still has the time limit and he can get the wrong alien and stuff. So I think that is enough of a limitation, and the shield can work fine for Ben both in alien form and in human form. And that could actually be an interesting thing for Ben, that he needs to selectively use his aliens and find the best shields for stuff, and maybe seeing which shields work best with which alien. And in that story, for some reason Ben just got all of the power-up methods from the other heroes. He just believed all of them because for some reason Ben was not a gamer in this continuity, which is bullshit. Ben is a gamer, not an MMORPG gamer, but he's still a gamer. Maybe a console gamer like Itsuki. So yeah, if Ben is going to learn one of the methods from the start, then it definitely should be just Itsuki's, because despite Ren being the second youngest there, Itsuki is the most young looking above the teenagers, and he's the only one who plays console games. So I can see Ben relating to him and not to Motoyasu and Ren, because Ben would probably see that Motoyasu is kind of a jerk and a scared chaser, so he wouldn't acknowledge much of his big brother persona, and Ren is kind of a distanced guy, so he probably wouldn't listen to him. So this is something that I think works better for a Ben 10 as shield hero story, because Ben gets to be not useless in his human form, but not OP. His aliens are going to be his only means of attack when he's on his own, and if he's going to get one of the methods right off the bat, then it should probably be Itsuki's, which should probably be the most effective for him, because the best thing with the shield for someone who like Ben is the thing with when you try to improve your overall stats. So I can see Ben trying all kinds of materials like Nafumi did, which is probably where the similarities end between their minds, and then trying to improve his overall stats with Itsuki's how was it called? Work leveling, job leveling. I don't remember, but the point is, I can see Ben improving his overall stats, which should stay with him with all of his forms, like by unlocking equip bonuses and using Itsuki's method. But other than that, I don't see him trying to get around with all of the other methods, or being stuck without being able to attack, because as I said before, most of Ben's 10 original aliens are primarily offensive, so if you take that away from them, then you might as well just make it so it's not Ben and he doesn't have the Omnitrix. Which reminds me, Alan Blaster, the guy who wrote Hope of the Shield Hero, also wrote another story where Nafumi is summoned as a 10 years old, and that story came out long before this one, and the similarities between them are glaringly obvious. So I start to think that maybe 10 out of 10 Shield Hero is just a copy of that. And it's not the first time that I see something like that. I've seen My Hero Academia stories where Ben gets isekai into that world, and it's clearly based on Spider-Man stories with the same idea. But it still not something that I like to see, that people just copy another story and give the character a different name, and basically and they don't even give credit to the original author. But now about the aliens and what use they can do without offensive abilities, which is bullshit. Let's see. Heat Blast can only resist to fire damage, but can't release any of his own, which is BS. Diamond Head, basically just a walking defense, a walking wall, which is useless because if Ben is going to get enough defense stats from his shield, and he's going to, then what is the point of having Diamond Head? It's just extra. Forearms, maybe he can lift better, but again, the shield doesn't restrict your lifting strength and pushing strength, just your punching strength, your attack stats. Let's see, Rip Jaws. Well, most of the plot of Shield Hero happens on land, and Rip Jaws didn't have any of those that thing that Brainstorm has, according to Kuro. So Rip Jaws is pretty much going to be useless. Upgrade. He can't use his laser. He probably can't form weapons from his mechamorph body, because weapons are not allowed, and he can't merge with anything, so also useless. Maybe he can heal faster because of his regeneration, but other than that, probably can't do much. Who's next? Wildmouth. Maybe he can track people. Stinkfly can fly. I guess it's useful and restrain people, but that is it. Ghost Freak, he probably wouldn't be able to do much. You see my point, right? If you're going to give Ben the Omnitrix and the aliens, then the aliens should be able to do what they can normally able to do. It makes no sense otherwise. Yeah, I suggested an alternative, and I think if you guys are going to write your own Ben 10 and Shield Hero crossover fanfiction, then you should probably follow this guide. I think that's everything for today's video. Amit Barabi, out.